Welcome to our 8th podcast. My name is Alex Mortimer. I'm a director here at the Supply Chain Academy and CP Training. I'm joined today by Professor Viren Lal, Professor Neil Marshall, and Professor Tazeeb Rajwani. Today we're going to talk about accelerating innovation through the supply chain. Viren, welcome to the Supply Chain Academy studio. It's good to see you today.
Thank you, Alex. It's a pleasure being here.
Fantastic. Please introduce yourself, Viren, and Neil, first of all. Give a bit of background about yourselves and provide some details on your experience.
So, hi, I'm Viren Lal. I'm the Managing Director of Chain School, a company who has sort of innovation in its DNA. We work with organizations and help them sort of redefine their futures, looking at innovation as a paradigm. And that's something we're doing for a few years now. We work with a lot of engineering and tech services companies, help them achieve their goals to future-proof. We've got this purpose, this mission that UK executive education is really top class, and I think there's a great opportunity for UK universities to go international. So we work with Essex Business Schools in creating those opportunities for them internationally, and going hand in hand with them to look at bringing those opportunities onto the UK shores.
Brilliant. Neil?
Yes, hello. So I'm Development Director of Chain School. I work particularly with our clients in how they scope what it is they need their organisations to achieve.
Brilliant.
And make it happen for them. Because as Viren was saying, we work a lot in innovation, and one of the things that we do differently is we don't come and do it for you, but we help you do it yourselves, so that your company learns how to do innovation, learns how to think in that way, and learns how to build your own company.
That's fantastic. It's exactly what business need at this time during the uncertainty around Brexit and the future. I'm going to bring in Professor Tazeeb Rajwani of Essex Business School, University of Essex, in the conversation. But my main question to all three of you, and please discuss, is why is thinking about innovation as part of strategy crucial to business leaders at this time?
Very good question there, Alex. Thank you for inviting me. So I think a lot of businesses now are dealing with new types of technologies, new types of disruptions that are coming in different forms, whether that's blockchain technology, whether it's 3D printing, whether it's cryptocurrencies. All of these things are new to companies. You know, it's scary to be talking about artificial intelligence when you don't necessarily know what it means and how you're going to implement it. So I think this program is very, very, I would say, groundbreaking in terms of leveraging the latest thinking and research from the University of Essex, but we're also partnering with the Supply Chain Academy and Chain School to deliver on not only best practice, but next generation practices, where we're helping companies to think about new ways of organizing, creating new compelling business models that are able to compete head-on-head with incumbent firms. We're looking at delivering value within the value chain in different ways. And I think what makes this course unique is that it's thinking about maintaining old business revenues, but equally it's focusing on next generation revenues. And organizing is part of that story, but also the tools and techniques the program offers are helping companies to think about changing their approach in multiple ways, and strategy innovation is one of them.
Okay, you've touched on your great course, Accelerating Innovation. I think it's personally groundbreaking. I'm quite excited about it, and if you've seen my LinkedIn post, I'm pushing out as much as possible. But obviously, as a business leader, an SME or an MSB sitting there in their workplace as a strategic leader, strategic thinker, where do they start? What do they do?
See, the thing is, let's just, a few years ago, you would be very happy if your company was just carrying on business as usual, making small incremental improvements in the way you were doing things, and you could be pretty sure of your trajectory going forward. All that has changed. What used to be 3D printing or robotics maybe 5 or 7 years ago seemed to be like a hobby or something that was happening in a particular workshop in a university, has suddenly become mainstream. You may not believe this, but the cost of 3D printing has come down by 1,000%. What does that mean? That means that people are able to do this very quickly. It disrupts entire supply chains. People don't need to procure from China. People can do it out there. So that's one thing that's happening. The second thing is in an industry like cars, where we have some of our clients who sort of do design work for them, they're moving from 2,000 parts to 50 parts, right? The entire innards of a car is going to change out there, and you will be able to 3D print parts for it. And that's a big change happening out there. And in supply chain, blockchain is coming and it's got a potential to dramatically strip out costs in terms of billing, shipping, lading, keeping governments informed out there. So you can't sit there anymore, hoping that things are not going to come and disrupt. This disruption is happening. There are some very, very well-funded startups out of Silicon Valley that are poised to, make big inroads into this particular industry. It's already put the entire network in for cryptocurrency out there, and these are dramatic changes out there in the future. So as a leader, you got to start up and say, it is happening. I cannot ignore it because it's become so big and so affordable for my competitors to get along, right? What is that I need to do about it?
And in fact, it's real. It's absolutely real now. So as Varun was talking about blockchain, blockchain is not just a cryptocurrency thing that people are making bets on. Just a few weeks ago, Accenture, Kuehne Nagel and AB InBev announced they've done a successful test of blockchain for shipments for things like bills of lading. It's happening now.
Yeah, not just that. You have Merck's, the Danish company. They're using blockchain in their sort of whole shipment strategy. They're keeping the U.S. government, they're keeping the Dutch government completely involved within the entire import-export kind of thing. So every piece of article is happening out there. Walmart is using it for its shelves. It knows its mangoes, where they've come from, exactly where they've traveled, and it's able to track everything down to the pink. And I was just thinking about this. I think it was about, I don't know, you help me out. It was about 20 or 30 years ago when it was J&J had this big Tylenol issue where they had to do this recall of 100 million for all the Tylenol bottles. Imagine if blockchain existed as a technology out there, they would have been able to trap that almost instantly and mitigate down to a targeted area and solve the problem. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you guys. I think being able to identify your assets, the way you organize yourself, the way you look at cost reduction, the way you look at customer centricity, all these things are going to get better through these different technological investments. Companies need to get a big sense of how do they do it, where should they do it, and who they should use to do it. And I think that's the interesting part of this course is really delving into the idea of building a competitive edge, but also it's about organizing those adaptations and growing at the same time and thinking about all those things simultaneously. And the research that we're building on and the latest tools and techniques we've got in the program help you to get there.
Brilliant. Any other thoughts on the course?
I think the course is organized in a very unique way where we're trying to make executives think about strategy, ideas, creativity, building the culture that helps you to learn about innovation in the right way, making sure that companies are able to build those processes that help them to have continuous improvement, but also equally think about that innovation engine.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's exactly how Taz says, you're taking it from the top to the bottom, all the way from your strategic thinking through therefore to how do you lead your company through it, what processes do you build, what tools do you use, and how do you get your people to engage with it and follow you through. So everything from your strategy all the way to your operations and your change.
See, I would like to add to it in the sense that, the default is to do nothing. So as I'd say it's an act of omission. So yes, for sure, you can come into the course and you can understand and learn a little more about the new technologies out there. And for sure, we'll take you through a process of what is going to impact on your business. But I think what we want to leave you with is two things, right? There's the act of committing and understanding what the risks are and how to sort of mitigate them, come around, and how to sort of be more creative in generating value out of it, which is really the power and the fruit of innovation. But also leave you with this fact that what may seem really easy is to do nothing, but that's far more dangerous because, I can assure you, any company, any government, any ministry, forget companies, that carries on business as usual, at Essex or not, right, that carries on business as usual, will not exist in the future because there are many, many powerful forces, both startup run and technological, that are riding the waves across industries and capturing that market.
Well, you've sold me on the course. You sold me completely. I want to do the course. What's the next steps? We're running the course next month here at the Supply Chain Academy, and we're looking to run the course again here in the autumn. But again, we can offer this course as a bespoke course with consultancy in different organisations as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so the next steps is just to visit the website, register, or speak to any of us. I think our details are on the website, whether it's Viren, myself, Tazib, or Neil, or Alex. We're more than happy to provide more details on the key benefits, the return on investment, also about our approach to making sure that this is really engaging and practical. I think research can only take you to some areas, but really it's about getting into those case studies, getting into real practices, and I think the way we deliver the programs is unique in terms of our workshop, our teaching, that is situational. We really make sure the managers and directors get a sense of what is happening in these areas, how do you do it, and it's very interactive. I think you can learn so much from each other, but the key thing here is to get into the supply chain, get into those services, get into different industries, different examples, and to make sure that this helps the manager think more strategically.
Fantastic. And the details on our course can be found at www.supplychainacademy.org.uk/masterclasses. I'd like to say thank you for joining me here on this podcast, talking about this innovative program, finding about you guys as the authors of this fantastic program. I'm really appreciative. I really appreciate your time here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.